Hi everybody, Lori here. Thank you so much for joining me today. I'm excited to be a part of the Altenew and Amy Tangerine release video hop, and I have a fun project to share with you using some of these fun new Amy Tangerine products. So the first thing is this new Through the Rainbow layering stencil set. There is a coordinating Through the Rainbow stamp set, and it has some really fun images and sentiments, and there's also a coordinating die set. Okay, so as soon as I saw this Amy Tangerine kind of wonky brush strokey rainbow, I fell in love. Okay, so there's basically two stencils, and they each have two arches and two little masks. So you got the positive and the negative. Here I put that small little rainbow arch mask back inside so that I can just blend that largest arch. And by the way, there's a new Amy Tangerine for Altenew inks. And this first one, Tickled Pink, tickled my fancy, and it's a poppin' pink, and I love it. I couldn't love it anymore. And so what I'm going to do is like two-tone arches, because I saw these colors and I'm like, how can I narrow it down? There's only 4 arches in the rainbow. So I decided to do two-tone arches so that I could fit more of these delicious colors. So this is going to be Tickled Pink on the right and Cherry Sweet on the left. And I'm trying to get a nice smooth transition up on the top of that arch, blending the two colors together. So it's like red and pink, and we're just going with it. So I am going a little heavier handed down at the bottom of the arch, fading it up slightly lighter, just for some gradient love and gradient fun. Okay, take that off and then lay on the next sized arch. Now these do not line up perfectly, and you got to just know that going in. This is not a perfect rainbow. It's a fun rainbow. And okay, now another two-tone. Left side coming in with Tangerine Dream, which is very fitting for Amy Tangerine. Side note, I've been a huge fan of Amy Tangerine's for many years. I'm sure you have as well if you're familiar with her. She's been around a long time in the scrapbooking world, but it's fun to see her with a line with Altenew. I love her. She has a very brush strokey style. If you follow her on Instagram, she does a lot of cheerful quotes with this brush strokey kind of rainbow aesthetic, and I love her cheerful, purposefully cheerful way that she shares her design. Anywho, okay, this one is called Peachy Keen, and it's just a little more peachy and a little less orangey. So there's that two-tone arch. Okay, cleaning off my stencils and laying on the next. So there's only 4 arches in this rainbow, and I'm using some of this Hefty Doodle memo tape to kind of mask off where I don't want it. Let Us Celebrate. Fantastic ink name. I love these. And this is kind of just like a grassy green, a little bit more limey. And now as these arches get smaller, it gets easier and easier. You don't need very much. It doesn't take very long to do it. And you just got to, like, I don't know if you're like me, kind of a perfectionist. I like everything to be precise. And this is not precise. And they overlap and they're kind of wonky, doesn't quite line up, but you got to roll with it. Here's Berry Cool. It's a very soft aqua. Now I'm using just my waffle flower blender brushes, which I use for all kinds of inks. Now if I wanted to get really true color, I could have used brand new brushes, but I thought I'll just use the brushes that I had out. So this might not be, you know what I'm saying? Like, it says Berry Cool, but it's also a mixture of whatever I had on my brush. Okay, last and final, smallest arch coming in. Using that same, trying to reuse that memo tape. You know, it's thrifty and nifty. Easy breezy for this one, which is a darker aqua color. Coming in on the right. And then now on the left, I think my favorite of all the colors is that Tickled Pink. I mean, how can you not? But this last one here, Ride the Wave, it's the perfect, I call it marching band blue because this color reminds me of my old marching band days. This was the color of my high school, color of my grade school, color of my college. I always was blue and white, and I was in the marching band, and this was the color of our uniform, and I love it. It looks great fading into that aqua color as well. Okay, so there's your rainbow. It's all blended in all her glory. Now, the Through the Rainbow stamp set has some additional little images and accents that you can add if you want to. And now when I was looking at the packaging, it's really where I get my inspiration. They took this little dotted arch and they embossed it in white or it looked like it to me. That's what inspired me. So I thought I'm going to emboss this. So first I'm using my powder tool to really, really powder up that blended arch. And I'm inking up this dotted arch with Versamark ink. I'm going to emboss the dots in white. You could probably achieve something very similar with a white gel pen if you took your time and drew teeny tiny little dots, but this makes it very easy. So I ink it up a couple times. You know what I say? Stamp it twice to make it nice. Pouring on some Simon's Stamp white embossing powder. I've got my heat gun getting piping hot because this is going to be a full card embossing thing here, and you don't want your panel to get real warpy, so you want to make sure that your heat gun is piping hot. And so these little dots just add a little something something, and there's extra little dashed arch here. I'm going to stamp that one. These little accent arches do not line up, okay? It's going to be, what do you call it? Whimsical, organic, eclectic. So I'm inking up this dashed arch with Berry Sweet ink, and that's the light aqua. So it kind of, it's subtle, but it gives that detail. Bringing in one last color, Be Grateful, a purple shade. And this is a little dotted arch, the smallest arch in the whole rainbow. And I'm going to add that just to round out those rainbow colors. And it looks cute being dotted. And so that is everything for this rainbow. I'm not going to add any more to it. I'm going to stamp a sentiment from that Through the Rainbow stamp set, stamping it in black just onto white cardstock. It says Shine Bright, and there are coordinating dies to go with it. So I lined up the coordinating die, held down with some of that memo tape, take it off camera, run it through my die cutting machine, and now I trimmed down this rainbow panel just a little bit so I could have a little border on my white card base, popping that up, and then popping up the sentiment. I finish it off with a few little dewdrops. These are my favorites by Concord 9th. And that is it. Shine bright. Shine bright with the new Amy Tangerine for Altenew. Make sure and check out the rest of the Amy Tangerine for Altenew video hop for more incredible inspiration. Thank you so much for joining me. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you next time.